Well, hello then, I do hope you're all well. Now did our provocative Tory Minister, Jonathon Gullis, absolutely lose his mind in the House of Commons? Now I'll set the scene as our newly appointed Minister for School Standards, our Gurning Jonathon Gullis, yeah, he just couldn't make it up really, was asked what I class as a reasonable question from Labour MP for Manchester Withington Jeff Smith about the retention of teachers. And then watch our Gurning Gullis just lose it.
Question 11, Mr Speaker.
Minister.
Mr Speaker, the Department is committed to attracting and retaining the highly skilled teachers we need by investing £181 million in this year's recruitment cycle, including training bursaries and scholarships worth up to £29,000. We are also delivering £500,000 training opportunities, reforming teacher training and delivering on this government's manifesto commitment of £30,000 a year starting salaries.
Jeff Smith.
Well, Mr Speaker, that sounds very rosy, but teacher vacancies are up 240% since 2011. The latest NEU poll, 44% of England's state school teachers plan to quit by 2027, 22% of them in the next 2 years. And it's particularly difficult for experienced teachers, those teachers who may have 20 years' experience, are leaving the profession. So what steps is the Minister taking to address pay, stress and an unmanageable workload which is driving the most experienced teachers out of the profession?
Minister.
I thank the honourable gentleman for that great question, Mr Speaker, because it is about being a teacher that's so important and positive, and it's a shame the honourable gentleman used this opportunity to be a bit negative about the profession, because when we're trying to recruit and retain staff, what we need is people talking up what a great profession it is to work in. I know I'm being shouted down by the opposition bench, but not a single year of teaching amongst them all, yet 9 years over here and I get shouted down for simply being someone who worked on the shop floor. The lessons should be learned from the past. But let me tell the honourable gentleman what it is that we are doing. We're making sure the honourable gentleman's clear the £30,000 a year starting salary, which is amazingly competitive with the private sector. We're going to have the £181 million in scholarships and grants, including £29,000, for example, in physics. And we're going to make sure that retention and workload, through our workload toolkit the department has gone, which has so far reduced workload on average by 5 hours.
We now come to Shadow Minister Steve Morgan.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Wow. I mean, this government has no ambition for our children's futures. Soaring council schools in deficit, attainment gap at a decade high, and the schools bill ripped up. But, Mr Speaker, recruitment and retention of secondary school teachers, not just Prime Ministers, is in crisis. Estimates of DfE data suggest the government is set to fall 34 percentage points below its recruitment target. So can the Minister explain what specific action he is taking to stop the rot and how he will fix his own government's failure on this?
Mr Speaker, I'm very glad to see the honourable gentleman was let out of detention by the Standards Commissioner for his very naughty letter that he sent only recently regarding me. But let me be very clear, Mr Speaker, that the honourable gentleman is making a point.
I just say, we want better taste in the House. Being a minister, he's no longer on the backbenches, so his rhetoric needs to be of a minister. I know he's got that standing and capability. Come on, Minister.
Mr Speaker, I am making the point very clear.
That was his first question. And Labour MP for Portsmouth South, Stephen Morgan, he was spot on when he says, "Oh, wow." And clearly Jeff Smith was just looking at him thinking, look at that tit, making a right tit of himself. You see our Minister for School Standards, our new one, clearly not what the standards required when it comes to being a minister. It's all right, gurning at the back benches, you can get away with it, but you're not going to get away with it on the front bench. Sorry, my friend. But the thing is, Lindsay Earle, the more I thought about it, I just thought he annoyed me a little bit, because you can definitely tell Gurning Gullis was clearly emboldened by our Boz Jobson's antics, you know, allowed to wave his willy about at PMQs and just constantly get away with it. Why didn't he actually swear with our Boz Jobson as soon as he started undoing his pants and waving it about and nipped it in the bud, like he did here? Because I'll tell you the thing, his next question and the other questions he got asked, he was clearly knocked down a peg or two, very sheepish, and let's be honest, I can tell he felt really embarrassed, and clearly he just really embarrassed himself there, didn't he? What a tit. But anyway, I do hope you enjoyed the video, and until the next time I shall bid you farewell and take care.